So like today, what have you eaten?
Today,
Or what?
because today is Sunday, I've started it, okay?
Okay.
Because today is Sunday,
Yeah.
I usually have heavy lunch and breakfast.
When you say heavy, what do you eat?
That's what we do at home. Every Sunday, my mom is home, so she cooks matoke, rice, chapati, with anything. Chicken, can be meat, can be fish.
Okay.
So that's heavy.
So Sunday is like where everything.
Exactly.
Everything
So
happens.
Sunday is mostly my rest day. Sometimes I might be free, like right now, have nothing to do. It's better I just get into the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it rarely happens. Mostly nowadays I'm usually swimming.
Where do
on
you
the
swim?
weekends. Just here at Nyanza Club.
Okay.
Yeah, on the weekends. Thank you. Just here at Nyanza Club, I just swim for cardio on
Yeah.
Saturdays and Sunday.
That's
what I usually do. No, we're okay.
I see. No, that's nice.
That's what I usually do.
So like you've interviewed, like most of the guys you've interviewed are mostly like your friends, or you've interviewed people who are
Most
new
of them,
to you.
Most of them are my friends. Then one of them was a teacher,
A teacher. Okay.
Mr. Billy.
Okay.
Then one of them was, most of them have been my friends, yeah. Apart from the teacher and, you know Luanga?
I know Luanga.
Luanga's dad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What does Luanga do?
Luanga is now in school
Where?
in Strathmore, Nairobi.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the interview I saw.
Mm.
The one that Luanga. You are three people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you,
three.
Luanga,
And Baker.
and one more. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it was
And
Baker.
Baker. That's the one I saw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that one was more of like,
A tryout.
interacting out with my friends.
Oh, okay.
For a while. I actually did more episodes before. That was the last one I did.
And how does it work? Like you ask a question, or it's just vibe, or whatever?
It's usually just
Just a vibe.
vibe, and then also like
So like right now, this thing is recording. So
Yeah.
you'll go home, look at the good parts, cut it, and then
sometimes it depends. When I'm doing my podcast, I don't like cutting out.
okay.
I just
oh,
love
it's
it.
raw.
Yeah, it's
like,
just raw.
It's like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just love it raw. So it also depends. Like when
Okay.
I was with my friends, I was asking
Yeah.
them questions literally just about relationships,
Okay.
about what they think about marriage,
Right,
stuff like
right,
that.
right.
Then when I also have on guests like you, my teacher, and
Yeah,
everything, I
yeah.
just ask, things about life,
Okay.
about career.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's something that I've been interested in doing for a while,
Okay.
podcasting. I remember
No,
immediately
yeah.
I got introduced to podcasts, I started loving it immediately.
It's a good thing, of
Yeah.
course. It's a good. Though I think maybe the most important thing is just to be consistent.
Yeah.
That's the most important
I
thing.
think
But
that's a problem with me.
that's
I've not been consistent at all, man.
You see, when you say consistent, also you must have the flow of people to have this podcast
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
You see, and if you are, of course, if you're starting out, you're new.
Mm,
For you right now, people are starting to get to know you.
yeah. Yeah.
Like you say, like for me, I got to know you from 2 weeks ago when
yeah.
I texted you. But before that, I didn't know
Yeah.
you did this thing. So
Yeah.
slowly but surely, like a lot of people will then start to get to know you and and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Because I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was reminding me. To be honest, I wasn't taking this thing serious when I stopped being consistent. I think because other things were taking over my time and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he was reminding me how I liked this.
Yeah.
So it really opened my eyes again.
You know the beauty of this thing, bro. You get to meet so many people.
Yeah.
You meet so many people, and also you give people an opportunity, like who maybe they have an interesting idea
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
get discovered with this kind of a platform.
Yeah, that's very true.
You see, now
Yeah.
like maybe somebody out there has a skill or
Yeah.
has something that nobody knows about.
Mm.
But you see, like people are watching this podcast.
yeah.
So through this, now they'll get to know that this guy exists.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. This is
Yeah,
going to happen.
yeah.
So, but yeah, like that's nice, man. That's good.
And
That's good.
I also like it because podcasts are becoming a big thing.
No, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. Right now in Kenya, there's this Lingugi show. That's a podcast.
Lingugi show, exactly.
That's a podcast.
Yeah.
Any other? That's the only one that I know. to be
There's
honest.
Lingugi, there's the
She's the
Man
big
Talk.
one.
Yeah, she's a big one.
Oh, the Man
There's-
Talk. Yeah, I've seen
the
that.
Man
The one of
Talk.
Obina and those.
No, the Obina, there's also Obina's show.
Obina show.
Yeah, there's also one called the Sandwich Podcast.
Okay.
There's also, there are many.
But Kisumu, there's not. It's just you.
Kisumu, it's just me.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm
Establish.
really-
Establish. No, you got to take advantage of that gap.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that.
That's what I really want to do.
And then slowly I can get you, like, let's say, established businessmen.
Yeah,
like
exactly. That's my plan.
Established businessmen, just to have an idea how they got there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Slowly. If you start like this, then tomorrow you have your own studio.
So let's get into the conversation. That was a good intro. I've not yet introduced you yet. This is Tabrez Kara. Very good man. He has a very good personality.
I try.
To be honest, you're a friendly guy, man.
I try.
You're a friendly guy.
Really?
You are friendly, but when someone crosses the line, you know your place, man.
That's one. A lot of people tell me I'm not very approachable, though. Maybe the way how I carry myself.
If they don't know
if
you.
they don't know me, they go like, he seems to have a bit of ego, but it's not ego. It's just maybe introverted. I'm somehow introverted.
So you call yourself introverted, yeah?
Well, I'm ambiverted. Introverted is what I am naturally.
Yeah.
But if I have to be extroverted,
you try.
I would be extroverted, and like I'm okay with it. You see, like right now with you, like I'm comfortable. I don't mind. You see, basically I can fit wherever I have to be. But ideally, I would prefer to be like just doing my own thing, stuff like that.
So how are you finding like being by yourself and actually like having yourself involved with others?
Well, of course, like having yourself involved with others is always better. It depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You see, if you're involving yourself with others, it also depends on the kind of people you're involving yourself with.
Yeah.
You see, and for me, I involve myself with people who are better than me.
Yeah.
Or who have some goal in mind, something they're aspiring to be.
So how important is that, man? How is important of being just with people who are better than you?
To me, it's very important because you'll always be reminded to work hard. You'll always be reminded to work hard and always be reminded. It'll keep you grounded. Keep you humble.
Yeah.
Because you see, the guy that there's always somebody on top of the food chain. You see, right now, we're me and you. Tomorrow there'll be somebody. There's always somebody on top of the food chain. And sometimes if you exclude yourself from all of these things, you might tend to feel like the world is yours, which it's never going to be yours.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never going to be yours.
That's
so
very true.
It's good. Plus, also you get a lot of ideas, networking.
But how do you choose the right people, man? Because sometimes it's very difficult to find people that are like that, Or is it maybe that I'm young? Because for me, I find it very difficult, like to find people who think outside the box, people who just want to improve, Like in terms of me, right? If you even look like when I'm going to the gym, I don't really have many people that really want to be going to the gym consistently just to make themselves look better or just to better themselves, And it's very difficult in terms of like spirituality, in terms of like physicality, in terms of like economically. So most of the time I find it so hard. I don't want to say it's so hard, but I find it difficult to find people who think outside the box. Do you think it's easier when I grow up?
You see, firstly, it starts with yourself. Yeah. If you're looking forward to bettering yourself in terms of everything, physically, economically, spiritually, mentally, any kind of thing, then if you have that kind of energy, right, it's easy for you to give it to others, number one. Number two, you need to just gauge and basically see what kind of person you're talking to. You see, try to gauge them. You see, the thing that is most important is, of course, by talking to somebody, you'll get to know what kind of people they are, what kind of ideas they want. I'll be like, let me give you an example. There's a friend of ours from school, a mutual friend, okay? This guy, if you remember, I don't know, of course you don't know who I'm talking about, but he was a fat guy, okay? I met him 3-4 days ago, and I told him, bro, what happened to you? Like, you've lost, I told him, man, come to the gym, get serious. Today was his first day at the gym. So I'm sure tomorrow he's going to regret why he came, because the pain and everything. But you see, it's small steps. You get to start with yourself, what you want to know, and you need to just gauge the person you're talking to, see what they're looking for. I think maybe it just comes with age, but also within yourself, it starts as early as possible. And the way you are, to be honest, From before.
Yeah.
You've always, like, from before when I met you first, when I came back from university.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I saw you and I was like, yeah, this guy, you know, he has a broad mind.
Yeah.
Like a broad mindset.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, bro, I try to stay calm sometimes because the problem with me is that I don't like losing, you know.
That's a good thing.
I don't like losing, and I push myself too much.
That's a good thing.
So most of the times, like, I push myself so much.
That's a very good thing. Like, of course, sometimes it can be hard on your body.
Yeah.
It can be hard on your mental state. Maybe sometimes it can be hard on your relationship.
Yeah.
Because you say, like, it just depends if you know. But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Like, you know, it is a good thing.
But yeah, you also played tennis.
I played tennis
for Kenya.
I played badminton. Yeah, I played for the country. Yeah.
How was that? You being disciplined and just getting into sports, man, because sports isn't easy. Man.
So you see, what happened was, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
I have my cousins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know them, Navid.
Yeah, I know them.
Nakib. Yeah. So, so they played badminton before me, and I remember. So it's more like a family.
Yeah.
Like lineage and like a, you know, like a hierarchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So sports it's always been in my family, but to be disciplined was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because you see, you have to control your diet, you have to control your lifestyle, you have to control between studying and training.
But were you actually doing all that back then?
Back then, everything, it's always been there. I remember when we used to have dinner at home. So we're all sitting by the dinner table, at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad used to only allow me and my brother. You're only allowed to eat one chapati.
Just one?
One. You're not allowed to eat anything more than that. If you eat more than that,
that's crazy.
He would snap. So my mom, my grandmother used to get angry. They used to be like, no, just let him eat how much he wants to eat.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, let me just deal with it. Only one.
One, yeah.
If you're not allowed to go more than anything. Even we're not allowed to have sodas, no cake, no biscuits. Even in our tea, we're not allowed to put sugar inside.
That was crazy.
Till today, when I have tea, I don't put sugar.
So how has that discipline from back then impacted you?
You see, so for me, it was. You see, for me, like, to be honest, it's just it's normal because it's been woven into me. You see, ever since I was young, so that's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
Even when I went to university, outside the country. So when I went out there, that's just my part of my normal lifestyle.
Yeah. So how was your? Because you've spoken about your dad being tough on you guys.
Yeah.
How has that impacted you? Like your dad being there in your life? Because you know we usually speak about now the pandemic of kids not having parents, like fathers in their lives.
Yeah.
So how did he also help you guys, like in terms of like being tough and being men and stuff like that?
Honestly, whatever I feel like I have achieved or whatever I am today, obviously the Almighty and my dad. Yeah. My dad has been a central role in everything I've done. Yeah. Whether it's professionally, whether it's co-curricularly with sports, even business-wise. So when I came back from university, I finished medicine. Yeah. When I came back, I told my dad that I wanted to start a business, right? Yeah. So what he did, which I'm thankful, like he gave me some money. Yeah. And he told me that this is now yours. If you build it, it's good for you. Yeah. If you spend it and blow it, it's also up to you. But I'm not giving you a shilling more than this. So now you know what I do. Yeah. I we have showrooms in Kisumu, Nairobi, Mombasa. We do real estate as well. Yeah. The butchery. So he's been a central role in everything that we've done. Yeah. So that way I'm very grateful. Of course, the pandemic of children now growing up without their parents. Without their parents, yeah. Regardless whether it's a mom or a dad, it's a sad situation, obviously. Yeah. And I feel for them, to be honest. Yeah. Like I feel for them. I just feel like maybe the world sometimes is too harsh. Yeah. Because they say that the streets will teach you if you don't learn it at home. Yeah, exactly. So the streets will teach you. So for me, you see, what can I say? I can't change the world in rather what they think. But what I can do is, just try to, like, whoever approaches you, try to be reasonable with them. Yeah. So advise them where you can. If you're not able to advise them, just leave them alone. Yeah. Let them do. Because, sometimes, like, when they learn things from the streets, according to them, that's the correct thing. Yeah. So it just depends, but it's a sad situation, obviously.
So I'm really caught up in a situation, right? This situation of how to handle people. Is it good? Is it good? Because they always say nice guys finish last. What can you say about that?
You know,
but also, before you say something, right? What I'm learning is that you can never expect from people. But for you as a person, you just have to do good. That's what I'm learning.
So let me be honest with you. So the thing is, number one, don't underestimate people. That's what I can advise. Don't underestimate. If you think that maybe they are not financially strong like you, don't underestimate them. If you think they are not as good looking as you may think that you are good looking, don't underestimate anybody. Okay? The fact that good guys finish last, it's depending on which aspect you're talking about. But put yourself first. That's what I would say. Put yourself first. Of course, don't be, you know, they tell you be selfless, be a good guy, you know, try to help people. But you see, you can't help people without helping yourself. You need to help. For you to help somebody, buy him a meal, and yourself you're hungry. How is it going to work?
That's true.
It's not going to work. For you to help somebody in the gym and you're fat or you're not in shape, how are you going to help them?
That's true.
For me as a doctor, I can't tell my patients to go on a diet or to eat healthy, and myself
exactly.
So what I would say is put yourself first. Of course, that doesn't mean be selfish. Improve yourself. Only then you can be able to advise correctly. People will take you seriously. But otherwise, if you've lost yourself, you can't help anybody.
That's very true.
You can't help anybody.
You spoke about
so when I say good guys finish last, meaning be good to yourself first, and then others. That does not mean be selfish to others. You see, I don't want you to misunderstand. Lead by example. Be good to yourself. Then whatever you feel like for yourself, you can always then help somebody. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So that way, yes. That way, yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
You also spoke about studying somewhere abroad. Where did you go for uni?
So I went to Ukraine. I studied medicine. I have a younger brother, Aftan. So he's a doctor as well. It was nice. It was rewarding. Ukraine is also a very nice country. But if you get the chance to go there, right now because of maybe the tension which is there, it's not as easily to get there. But of course, like, you know, if you're able to later on in life, it's a very nice country.
So how did you all the cultural change, the time changing and everything, how did you adapt to that?
So the first year was actually quite depressing for me. See, the first year when I went there, I went alone. So when I went alone, there was nobody I knew, nobody to talk to, and everybody, they didn't speak English. They only spoke Russian. So, you know, when they only spoke English within the university. So at first first year was depressing. But then I met a friend of mine from Namibia, and his name was Chindo. In fact, Chindo, if you're seeing this, bro, big up to you, man. Chindo is he's basically like one of the reasons why I didn't give up. So he was actually very helpful. He taught me the basics, how to use the metro, what to do in university, stuff like that. But second year became easy. Like it became, you know, if you live there, you'll make friends, obviously, get to know more things. But the culture shock was, you know, I was culturally shocked till I finished, because you know, they have a different way of life. But similarly, if you bring one of them here, they will have a culture shock. So but I guess that's the beauty of human beings. So how you get to learn different cultures and different things.
I think when we usually speak to people abroad, they usually tell us how difficult it is. Like some of us don't know the difficulty and challenges that people go through
when you're abroad.
Once they go abroad. So what do you think? What would you say about that, man? Like the difficulty and the challenges and
you see, like, for one, it's always like it depends where you're coming from. If you're coming from comfort at home, it's very difficult outside.
Difficult,
It's difficult in the sense that now you're alone. Nobody cares what you do.
Yeah.
There's nobody to oversee you.
Yeah.
Nobody to guide you. You see, if you want to screw up, you can screw up. Nobody will care.
Yeah.
So everything is entirely up to you.
Yeah.
You see, so in that sense, the realization of that now it's you and the world. It's, you know, it could be a bit hard, especially if you come from comfort.
Yeah.
But if already you're used to the struggle and you go outside,
Yeah.
it's going to be even so much easier for you, because outside the opportunity, the what can I say? The opportunity, and there's a lot of things outside there that, you know, that is to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, you also learn by traveling.
Yeah.
If ever any one of yourself, or you know, if I get the chance,
Yeah.
I would go. But it depends. I have my feelings to Kenya are so strong.
Yeah.
So as much as I've been outside, but I feel like this is home.
Yeah.
This is home. It's hard to be outside. But over time, everything becomes easy.
Yeah,
everything becomes easy.
That's true. So. And one thing I also wanted us to speak about is business.
Yeah.
You've told me you're now into business.
Yeah.
Me, myself, I've always had an interest for being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I just haven't gotten that much information on where to start from.
Okay.
So I'm trying to teach myself more.
Okay.
Before I actually get myself out there, which I don't want to do anymore. I want to try, fail, try again till I get what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So I want you to talk to me about business.
Okay.
Tell me, if someone wants to get themselves involved in business,
okay,
what are some things that people need to know? Especially as a young person, they just want to get themselves started somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, like, you know how they always used to tell you, do what you love? For me, I would advise you, don't do what you love.
Yeah.
Because if you do what you love, but it's not needed right now, it's not going to help you. Yeah. Instead, do what is needed.
Yeah.
Do what the people need.
Yeah.
What you see is lacking in the market. You see, that is if you don't have anything.
Yeah.
If you don't have any base, you see, to grow upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for example, any good or service that you see in the wherever you are from, if the community is lacking that good or service, and if you're able to provide it and make something out of it, go ahead. You see, for me, I'm involved in my family business. So my family business deals with real estate. We deal with buying and selling of vehicles and meat processing as well.
Yeah.
So for me, like, alhamdulillah, I had a base to build upon.
Yeah.
So of course, nowadays business is not like before. You see, before not everybody was informed.
Yeah.
Nowadays everybody's informed.
Yeah.
What I would advise is be honest. You know, because you don't have to think about business today. There's no point of making 1 million shillings today, and then you have nobody tomorrow. It's better you make 300,000 shillings today, but tomorrow you have people, and the next day you have. So be honest. That's the first thing. Be honest. And the second thing is, of course, it's all about luck. You
think so?
It's about luck, for real. For real. As much as people say that, ask any billionaire right now.
Yeah.
I'm not a billionaire yet.
But
ask any billionaire now if they're able to go back and do what they did. They won't, and they can't. It's about luck. You see, at the end of the day, it's it's all about, you know. These are things that are already predestined. You are just acting your part out. You see, but be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Don't be rude.
Yeah.
Instead, be shrewd.
Yeah.
Be shrewd. Don't be rude. Be honest. And that's basically what you have to do.
You said be shrewd.
Be shrewd.
Explain that.
When I say be shrewd, is be straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, be straightforward. Depending on what good or service you're providing.
Yeah.
You see, when you're, for example, if you're selling this phone, for example, you see, nowadays I can't assume that you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Be honest, whatever is needed, you know, and nowadays, you know, everything is straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, like, the money is yours, the good is mine.
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa. You just have to be like, you know, whether it's a yes or a no, or, you know, but beating around the bush, wasting time, you could do that before.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody's on the run.
Yeah. So I've also been seeing people speak a lot about scaling in terms of businesses. How do you think someone can move from point A to point B, like from earning 100K to 200K or to 500K or to 1 million? How can someone do that? Because I feel like most people, if I'm seeing it from the outside part, I'm not yet inside the business world, but seeing from the outside is that many people get comfortable where they are, and I feel like they don't demand more for themselves or in terms of their business. I think that's what I'm noticing around Kenya or around Africa, to be honest. And I'm not well informed because I'm not inside the business world to know what's really going on. But in terms of what I'm seeing, there are people out there who are really hungry, man.
Who really hustle.
They are really hungry. They really want to grow big. They really want to earn lots of money. They really want to keep doing what they do.
The best
which
way,
I'm not really seeing around here, man.
The best way is, the first thing, have the drive for you want to do that.
Yeah.
The second thing is learn new skills. It can be any kind of skill.
Yeah.
For example, this podcast, or for example, making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Or learn a new skill that is going to help you to earn something, and then monetize it.
Yeah.
And then monetize it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, find a way to earn passive income. What is passive income? Passive income is income that keeps flowing. You don't have to oversee it.
Yeah.
So when you're sleeping, you know that if
the money is going to come.
The money is going to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of person, but there's this guy, Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Yeah.
So if you listen, it's good to take examples from these people because they've made it.
Yeah.
They've seen it all.
Yeah, they know the game.
They know what they're talking about. They might not want to tell you their secret.
Yeah.
Because of course they also have a selfish,
of course,
motive to that. But they try to give advice here and there.
Yeah.
So if you listen to one of his quotes, he tells you that earn money while you're sleeping. Because if you don't earn money while you're sleeping, you will never earn enough.
Yeah.
So while you're sleeping, find a way to earn passive income.
Yeah.
Could be anything. It could be rental.
Yeah.
If you have that kind of source. If it's not rental, maybe farming.
Yeah.
There's something to basically earn passive income.
Yeah.
Something that you're not relying on. So if you lost your job today, for example, or your business went down, you still can rely on
the other passive.
On the other part.
Yeah.
So, and be calculative. And one thing I would also advise is take a risk.
Yeah.
Take a risk. Because if you don't take risks, nothing is going to work for you. You'll always be safe.
Yeah.
Take a risk. Right now, if you want to start a business, that's a risk.
Yeah.
Start a risk, take it, and you hope for the best.
Yeah.
Of course, but make a calculated risk. Don't make a just shooting in the dark. Make a calculated risk.
Yeah.
But you have to take that risk.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you. Right now, initially when we began selling cars, we began with selling the normal, low budget cars, Premio, Allian, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we then drove into bigger cars like Prados and Mercedes.
Yeah.
And you see, those cars are bigger risk because you have to pay more to bring them.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, when you bring them, you don't know if it's going to sell or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you have to do it. That's the only way you'll grow.
You have to do it.
Otherwise, if you keep on buying Premios, you'll just be stuck driving a Premio.
Yeah.
You have to take that risk.
Yeah.
Of course, you might lose, but you have to take the risk.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Even taking loans, as much as people discourage it, I would encourage it.
Yeah.
But provided you know what you're doing with the loan, and provided you'll be able to pay back that loan.
Yeah.
I would promote taking loans.
That's
but
interesting.
If you know you are going to, what you're going to do with the money, and how you're going to pay it back. Now, when you're going to pay it back, have two plans.
Yeah.
The plan that you're relying on,
yeah,
and the second plan, in case the first one fails,
yeah,
you will still be able to pay.
Because I was also watching one of these. He's Kenyan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's called Kevin something, Mutes or something like that. Mm-hmm. His brother is a pilot.
Okay.
So these guys, they actually grew up in a rich family. Mm-hmm. So he was explaining his story, how he was working in a bank before. Mm-hmm. So I feel like these guys, man, they just learn the game because they know what to invest in, and they are certain that it's gonna get a profit from there.
You see, look, when you say that they're certain that they're going to get a profit, there's certain things in the market that the chances of failure are slim.
Yeah.
For example, look at something like housing.
Yeah.
You know, housing is something that will always be in demand, for now at least. People are always looking for houses.
Yeah.
Right now, look at
farming as well.
Farming as well. People need to eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at things that are necessities, not things that are luxuries.
Yeah.
Because when I say luxuries, for example, if you want to sell phones or whatever, not everybody might be able to buy one.
Yeah.
But a house, everybody needs a house.
Yeah, exactly.
Healthcare. Things that you know in the market that will never run out.
Yeah.
Invest in those things.
Yeah.
The basic things. You know?
Because I was also thinking the other day, man, like most of the things we use here are imported. Things like soap, things like tissue. And I'm asking myself, why don't most people get into that sector of like manufacturing this kind of stuff and selling them locally?
You see, these are things that, like, of course, there are other economical powers which are acting in play. Sometimes importing it might be cheaper than producing it.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends with how the country's legal system is, taxation system, and also labor. You know, so sometimes importing it is just easier than manufacturing it.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is look for the gap in the market, and or something that is something that is a necessity, and invest there.
Yeah.
Invest there. You can't go wrong. Like something, for example, you buy a land.
Yeah.
A land will not depreciate unless if there are certain factors. For example, let's say a disease outbreak.
Yeah.
Involving that area might depreciate the land. But what are the chances?
That's true.
But also when I say investing in land, of course, if you're investing in like the village, it's different from investing somewhere close to.
Yeah.
So you just have to know what you're doing, what kind of investment. Land will always appreciate.
Yeah.
Cars will depreciate.
Yeah.
So
I've also...
You see the thing right now there is in the market, it's called fake it till you make it. Do you know what that means?
No.
That means that act rich even if you're not rich.
Yeah.
So fake it till you make it. You know, sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because it will give you access to circles that will give you an opportunity to
reach where you
But you see, you need to be smart when doing that. If you have, for example, 1,000 shillings in your pocket only, and you spend 800 eating a Java, you're very stupid. So
I was actually thinking about that, man. You know, it usually starts with these small things.
Exactly.
Because I was noticing just the other day, I've been using like all my money at the gym, bro. Like
no, but you see, that is different. That is helping you at least physically.
Yeah.
It's helping you. It's you know, like it's giving you, it's good for your health, whatever. They say that is different. But when I say, for example, if I have 1,000 shillings and I spend 800 at Java, what is the benefit there?
There's no benefit, man.
What is the benefit? Then you have 200. Now, what are you going to do?
I think also being financially disciplined is
very
important.
You need to know what you're doing. You say right now, it's not like you need to know what you're doing. As much as there is more opportunity now, but there's also more competition now. So you need to know what you're doing.
But hey, bro, I think the most important thing of knowing what you're doing is that it works, man.
Exactly. As long as it works, everybody can do themselves.
It actually works, man. Because it works. I'm certain it works, man. That's why I'm patient. I'm just being patient.
No, you have to be patient.
I'm just being
you have
patient.
to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. Exactly. That is the most important thing. Consistency, discipline, hard work, and some luck.
Some luck, yeah?
That's
interesting.
You need to have luck, a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Luck is the maybe 5%, but you need to have luck.
That's true, man. So I also wanted to speak to you about something that guys are taking for granted nowadays. Like, what do you think is the importance of education? In terms of like getting a...
When you say education, you mean what kind? Secular, like going to school?
Like going to school.
Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, that?
Yeah, that.
Okay. What your question is, what is
important? Do you think it's as important as it used to be, going to school? Or is it that we've been we are also being taught not to take it as important, but it is important as well. What do you think?
Okay. According to me, I think it's important. Many people will say it's not important because right now access to information is everywhere. But you see, secular education, class 1, class 2, class 3, they give you the correct information at the correct stage of your life. You see? Right now you can get information which is not useful for you. You can get information which used to be useful for you. You see, so as much as people say that it's not important, if you look at it, according to me, it is, because they know what information to give you at what stage of your life. That it will be useful for yourself. Number one. Number two, secular education. It prepares you for, I don't know, it prepares you for university if you would want to go for that. You know. Of course, right now if you look at if you have a talent that is co-curricular. You're good at football. You're good at weightlifting, singing, whatever. If you are those things, and if you're in the right country to be discovered, education is not important. But it depends what your goal is. If your goal is money, if you're born in the right country, you know, you're good. For example, take about Kenya. If you're gifted in running, the chances of you being successful is higher than you being gifted in running. Let's say a country in the Far East. You see?
Yeah, that's true.
Or if you're good at football in the UK versus being good at football in Kenya, where are you most likely to succeed?
There.
In the UK. So if you're successful that way, then secular education is not important. If there's a good chance for you. But otherwise, secular information for the majority is important, according to me. It's important.
Because I've also been seeing like once guys are done with school,
or they don't go to university.
No, not even university. Like even when they're done with university, people are speaking about like not being able to get jobs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Do you think it's like only here?
It's like
because I've noticed there are places like you've said, like it's what you know. If you're really smart about it and take an important course, you're able to get a good job that will pay you well. And there are people who do courses that don't really matter and don't really pay them well. So do you think it's their fault, or is it or are we just blaming nothing? Because there are people, you even know, there are people who finish school and get good jobs and they're paid well.
The issue with jobs is it's a problem worldwide. Regardless of whether you are in Kenya or you're in America or you're in Australia, it's a worldwide thing. You know? And like I said, luck is always very important. So you need to be lucky to get a good job. You see? But secular education helps you you're able to think for yourself. You know? What I was talking about, being entering entrepreneurship and all of those things, you know, to be able to basically look at what you want, start a small side hustle. You might fail. Okay, there's no guarantee you'll be successful. You might fail. Okay, but when you're making those kind of steps, you need to think about what will I do if it fails? You know, what am I going to do if it passes? You know, at the end of the day, for example, when I say luck, you know, look at, for example, just people become billionaires at 22. But some people even as late as 70. You know, so it just depends on yourself. And you know, at the end of the day, you just have to try your best in whatever you do. Whether you're applying for a job, whether you're starting your own job. But the issue of jobs is worldwide. It's a problem. They're like, and you know, there are forces above us that basically influence
everything that
influence what goes on. The issue about studying something that is not useful is everything. You know, it depends how you use it.
Okay, that's true.
It depends if you have that knowledge and how you're using it. You see, I have a friend who went to art school, painting and all of those things. Right now, believe it or not, she's here in Kisumu. She paints. Each painting she sells 25,000. You see? Now, back then, if you wanted to tell your mom or your dad that you're going to become an artist, what are they going to think?
Nah.
You see?
They'll just be like, nah, man, you can't do that.
Like yeah, exactly. But now this girl, she's each painting 25,000.
That's crazy, man.
You see? So it depends what you're going to do with that information.
Yeah.
So you say that's basically what it is. Right now, how many people can earn 25,000 every day?
It's difficult.
25,000 every day.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
You say for her, she's doing it by painting. So,
yeah.
You know, that's what I say. You see, it depends if you're able to break the market, your luck, and all of those things.
Yeah. So, before we end it, I really just wanted to get your advice, and the people who are also viewing, if you can advise them on life, because most of the people watching this are young.
Okay.
Most of us are young. My audience is young. There are also older people as well. Maybe they'd want to learn something from you.
Okay.
What do you think
is the best advice?
Is the best advice for someone?
Okay.
Yeah.
The best advice that I would give anybody is whatever you do in your daily life, do it the best you can.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give you. And it applies to all aspects of life.
Yeah.
For example, if you are in school or university, do the best you can.
Yeah.
If you are training for the Olympics, do the best you can.
Yeah.
If you're even trying to have a relationship with your mom or your wife or your dad or your girlfriend or whoever it is, do the best you can.
Yeah.
You see, that way, number one, you know you would have given the best.
Yeah.
And number two, you would have no regret in case if things go south.
Yeah.
You see, if you have a business, give your best every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
It's not easy because, you know, some days you might wake up feeling demotivated without results.
Yeah.
Someday you'll wake up, God, you'll look at a guy, he's driving a Bentley and you'll be like, I'm so far from that.
Yeah.
You know, some days you might not feel like it's rewarding.
Yeah.
But what did they say? Consistency is the
key.
Consistency is the key.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be rich overnight.
Yeah.
It's not. Actually, it's very easy to be easy overnight, if you're not using the correct means.
Yeah.
But if you are using the correct means, it's not easy. But if you're consistent, the chances are very high.
Yeah.
But whatever you do in your life, do it the best.
You know what I like about what you just said is that, like you just said before, man, if you just know what you're doing, it will never fail, man.
That's I
don't think it will ever fail, man.
Inshallah, it shouldn't. Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, like one more thing I would like to add to that advice is don't underestimate anybody.
Yeah.
You know, let me give you one example before we close off. There was the week that just passed. I'll give you two separate incidents.
Yeah.
There was a guy who came to the showroom. He came, he was dressed in a full suit. Okay?
Yeah.
A nice 3-piece suit.
Yeah.
And he came in with some other people, about 4 or 5 guys. When he came, one of the guys who work for us, you know, he rushed to go and help that guy.
Yeah.
So, out of all the vehicles we had, he picked the cheapest car.
Yeah.
The guy in the suit. Okay.
Yeah.
And he started saying that he doesn't have the car is not worth the price or whatever.
Yeah.
He met me. He started negotiating. You know, he said I'm too expensive.
Yeah.
Eventually, we didn't agree, and he left.
Yeah.
A few days later, there was a teacher from the rural area.
Yeah.
He came. He was dressed in just jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
When he came, nobody took him seriously. Nobody took him seriously.
Yeah.
He came. He picked a good car, like not more expensive than the one that the other guy picked.
Yeah.
But he picked a car close to $1 million shillings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He came. He looked at the car. You know, nobody wanted to serve him. I went to assist him.
Yeah.
He looked at me. He's like, "How much is the car for?" I told him the price. He asked, "Is it negotiable?" I said, "Yeah, we can talk."
Yeah.
We had a small back and forth, but not like the guy before. Eventually, he said fine, and he paid for it. And everybody else was like, "Damn, okay."
Yeah.
But see, don't underestimate anybody, especially those guys who are dressed in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Never underestimate them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you'll find that in a room full of guys wearing a suit, the guy wearing the t-shirt is the boss.
Yeah.
Don't that's my advice.
It was nice having
that's
you.
my advice. Anytime, man.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime.
We'll definitely plan something else
no
again.
Problem. Anytime.
A second episode, maybe.
Anytime.
Thank you very
much.
Man.
No problem, man.
So. That was a nice